and welcome to another benefit of the Doud Review. I am your host, Adam Doud, and joining me as always is Cliff Thomas, who has a device in his possession, but perhaps for not very much longer. Cliff, why don't you go ahead and tell us all about it?
Yeah, so I don't know if this is a positive or a negative thing, but I do get a little nostalgic sometimes, right? And HMD, or the company formerly known as Nokia, not Nokia,
Nokia, I believe is how
Nokia.
they.
Okay,
I say Nokia, but whatever.
you guys know what I'm talking about.
Right, right.
Recently has introduced, unlike in the last like 3, 4, 6 months, depending on which device you're talking about, some devices that are user repairable, at least to a point. And at
Mhm.
least with the one that I've got in my possession in my grimy little mitts, uh, is one that uh, really triggered that nostalgia need in me. And that is the HMD Skyline, a device which, while it is the new phone, really apes the design language of some phones that I really hold fondly in my heart. The Nokia Lumia line from, like the Lumia 920, especially, and like the 925. It's got a lot of that design language in, the body design. And if you combine that with the fact that it's user repairable, in a way that is pretty cool. I'm not gonna show it today because I don't wanna take the phone apart. There's a reason for that,
We'll get
because
to
I'm a
that.
yeah. So let's go ahead and talk about it. I guess we can actually, I guess we should do what we always do, and I forgot to do that, but you know what?
Mm,
I'll just look on the back of the box.
Just look on the back of the
All right,
box.
so this is the HMD Skyline. I'll just show it here on camera real quick. This is the
Alrighty.
packaging for it. I got it in that nice magenta color, pink magenta. It's kind of somewhere in the middle. It's muted. It's not like a super bright but let's see.
This podcast not sponsored by T-Mobile.
Not at all. And this is, while it's a T-Mobile compatible device, this is an unlocked device. So you're looking at a Snapdragon 7S Gen 2 with a 4600 milliamp hour, and here's the thing, user replaceable battery,
Hmm.
15 watts wireless charging, and 5 watts reverse charging support. And it's one of the few devices out right now, maybe the only one in the United States, that is Qi 2,
Ah, okay.
which is where you get, I guess, in part the 15 watts wireless charging, which is nice.
Yeah.
Like, so
And
this mm,
is it magnetic as well?
yes,
Like,
and it's also magnetic. Yes.
oh, that's so
I
sad.
know. I know.
It's, oh man, get on board, U.S. manufacturers, other
I
than Apple.
I know, right? And so I should actually, yeah, I guess I should have said, I don't even is the iPhone 16 G2
Yes,
compatible? Okay.
yes,
All
yeah. They
right. So
specifically called out Qi 2
okay.
compatibility. So,
Gotcha. All right. And with a little swap, with a little twist of a screw on the bottom left corner, which I'll show you once we unbox it and all that good stuff. You just twist that, and it has a plastic back, and it just pops up, and then you just start taking it apart. And they've partnered with iFixit to actually offer parts here in the United States, to make so it is you can replace the screen and the battery without too much effort. So there's no,
huh?
getting a heat gun, going around the back and having to pull a glass back off. A lot of stuff that, for me as a person who thinks that, I'm all about, what is it, the being able to repair your device yourself movement, especially for the stuff that you really break the most, like your display and your battery. That's really good, right?
Right, right.
Let's see. So it does have for its main camera, 108 megapixel hybrid OIS with a 50 megapixel zoom. And then it's got a 13 megapixel ultra wide. Okay, and then the 50 megapixel zoom camera. So 3 cameras.
Yeah.
Let's see. And the front has a 50 megapixel autofocus. Oh yeah, this is the other thing that's cool about it. The front facing camera has autofocus,
Okay.
which a lot of cameras do, on other smartphones do not have. So if
Yeah.
let's see, 6.55 plastic OLED with 144 hertz refresh rate, HDR10 support, does have stereo speakers, and then it's got, oh, what does it's got HMDs. It's like it's a Uzu or something, whatever their like audio enhancement is.
Oh,
You
okay.
like spread with it.
Whatever, bro.
Right. I know. I yeah. It's something that they've had around since the Nokia days. So it's
Yeah.
all baked in there. So the ingredients are high quality ingredients. It's just
Yeah.
we'll get it.
It's just
That's Well, what? I'll show you some of the stuff once we actually wanna bring up,
Okay.
Slappy the Review Cam, our
Yeah.
friend we haven't seen in a few episodes. We
Yeah. It's been a
need
while.
Slappy.
Good old Slappy. Are we slappying now or are we gonna slappy in a little bit?
Let's Slappy right now.
All right. Come on, Slappy.
Bring it on in. Are you bringing it in? Are you
Oh,
there,
I guess
there.
I guess I will. It was kind of like one of those. You do it. No, you do it. All right. No, that's my bit.
I mean,
It's way
we
too big.
love your handsome face, so that's okay.
Yeah, that
Alright.
that was way too
So
big. Yeah, can't do
so
that again.
so so here's the packaging.
Yeah.
Here's the back of the packaging, which I don't wanna show that too much just in case I think the IMEI numbers and stuff are on the side. And when I actually bring out the phone,
Uh
I think
huh.
you'll see. Let's see if I can get it. All right, there we go.
Yeah.
That
That looks nice.
it does look nice. Where you're gonna see there's that plastic back. Here is the screw on the left-hand side that you twist and it
Oh
pops that
wow,
back off. Yeah, which is pretty
that's kind of
cool.
neat.
It is. And then you can see on the sides how it's got that tapering that looks almost
Yeah.
exactly like a Lumia 920,
Yeah.
except it's got an
That is
aluminum,
reminiscent.
very reminiscent. Um, so you got your textured power button on the right side
Mm-hmm.
and a volume. Something on there. Oh,
Hmm?
nothing. Just
Okay.
looks like it got dropped.
Huh.
And so hopefully I don't get charged for that because we'll talk about that in a second. And
Yeah.
then actually I'm sorry. This is the power button, which also has
Okay.
okay. This is the volume button, and then this textured button here is a programmable button,
Like an action button. Okay.
like an action button. Exactly.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
I'm kind of worried about that now because one of the things I was going to say is that I have decided to return this phone, and it
Yeah.
is a very slippery phone, and I did find it on the floor, and I'm wondering if it got dinged.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Okay. Well, anyway, so here's the issue.
Anyway. Yeah.
What I have done is I have reset the phone so that you're gonna see it exactly as it comes out of the box. There's not a whole lot. I guess I can show you what comes in the box.
Right.
It's not a whole lot. It's your standard
Does it include the screwdriver? It
no.
really should. But
Yeah, so there's
anyway.
your SIM tool, your
Sub tool, yeah.
set of and a color matched USB-C cable, which is kind of
Oh,
cool.
that's fun.
No
Okay.
power, no power in the box, but that's okay. I don't really mind that, especially when this HMD
That's
is supposedly all about sustainability, and
it's kind of where we are these days. Yeah.
it is, which is okay. I do like the color matched uh, cable though, so it's
Yeah.
got that is the standard wallpaper, but and then this is a very clean build of Android.
Looks like it.
As HMD is tends to do, and well, other than their first Android phones, which were highly customized, Nokia was always kind of the same way.
Yeah.
Um, the one thing they do is they offer the icons that they do support, and then just on the home screen have that black theming. That's called the
The
HMD
black and white.
theming, and then
Okay.
you've got options to
Say that's very nothingish.
it is. But you can change the icon style if you want to the original, or you
Hmm.
can theme them with color if you want.
And that's
Just
only on the home screen, huh?
it's only on the home screen. If you actually go
That's
to the apps,
seems kind
there
of
they
weird,
are.
but okay.
I actually kind of like that because I feel like when you get to the app drawer, it is
Maybe you
kind of
want
nice
those
to
colors to
right.
visually cue you. Gotcha.
And it
Yeah,
doesn't
that
look
makes
like it
sense.
actually installed all the things that it. Okay, so one of the things I found very frustrating about this experience, but I guess because I just now connected it to Wi-Fi. It hasn't gone out and downloaded all the extras, but one of the things that this
Mm.
phone comes standard with are things like the Booking.com app
Mm.
and,
Booking dot
mm,
yeah.
Yeah, and a few other just, like, literally just they install apps that are there because they have a deal with, probably a company that is shilling for a few different services. And that's a little frustrating. I mean, it's not a ton of cruft. The only other real thing that they've got is just the HMD app, which is for things like getting your phone service
Yeah.
and registering and all that kind of stuff. So I did want to
Okay.
show that, but the cruft did not install itself this time just to make me look bad.
Right. Right. And sometimes,
Right?
you know, that's what it does.
But
I saw
that's
Facebook on there, so
yes, Facebook also does come installed, and as you'll see, you can't uninstall it. All you can do is
oh,
just
that's not cool.
which drives me nuts. I don't like that simply because I use the Facebook Lite, version of the app because it supposedly is a little bit less, battery,
Oh,
uh,
I just
yeah.
I just don't use Facebook, but okay.
Okay, and also if you don't wanna use so you can disable it, that's
Yeah.
fine. You were asking about the screw. I was gonna see if okay, so it is a Torx screw that so you
A
will need to
Torx
have a
screw, yeah.
Torx screwdriver handy, which a lot of people I would actually guess do not have in order to repair the
I
device.
would suggest those that are interested in buying a phone that is user repairable
They
probably
might have
do
it.
have one,
That's
or at
true,
least
they
they
might
wanna
have
go
it.
get one. Yeah, but yeah, that's entirely fair. But
So, I don't have pictures up, to show I would call the camera actually, pretty decent,
right.
especially in, you know, less than perfect light, but
Okay.
low light because this is a technically a mid-range phone. So I'm gonna talk about some so let's just say what I like them. Aesthetically, I really
Okay.
like it. I like the fact that it's got a
Mhm.
relative like I said, a relatively clean build of Android. Obviously, I bought the phone as much for nostalgia as anything else, and because I want to support, smaller phone manufacturers like HMD. This is not, as far as I know, carried on any carriers in the US, but here's the problem. Here's
Mhm.
one of the problems that I
Mhm.
have is that this phone, without any discounts, is $500. Now at $500, you're approaching, like, Pixel 9a or Pixel 8a territory, if not a little above
Yeah.
that. You're almost bridging the gap to where you could buy a Pixel 8, probably around for the same price, which is gonna give you
Yeah.
better performance and way better cameras.
Right.
Um, and my mate well, okay, I wanna actually do something here just
Well, it's
to
also I mean, the repairability aspect of it kind of also inflates the price. It usually
sure,
does. Um,
except that this phone is 350 euros, I believe.
okay. I'm
So,
not
I
sure
got
what
this
the
for
exchange rate is off the top of my head, but
but it's closer to a dollar than it's not, right? So,
right.
um, which is kinda frustrating. So, my point being in, the continent the continent, and also I believe in Europe, it's much more, I think, price competitive because there are I
$375 is the conversion
Yep.
because
So,
I remembered that I was sitting in front of a Google machine that could tell me.
I want to just use without an account. One of the things that really frustrates me is when you're paying $500 for a phone, I expect because companies have been delivering this, whether it's like the OnePlus 12R or a Pixel phone, or even something like the Poco X6 Pro that I reviewed for us, what, a month ago or so,
Something like that,
have
yeah.
have a pretty decent haptic motor in them, and the haptics are tuned. This I'm trying to get it close to the microphone so you can hear the motor in it. Oh, it's terrible. It's just
I mean, I can't hear it, but I'm just kinda making
yeah,
up what
it's
I
just that
imagine it probably
it's
sounds like.
it's just that it feels like a Moto G Play.
Okay.
And Motorola honestly has gotten a lot better with their haptics, at least with their razors. Why that's actually another phone that it's competing with at this price is the standard Moto Razr 2024.
Right.
So
Right.
you're absolutely right in saying that I think some of the money and the partnership, that they've also financed or done with iFix, it means that, yeah, you're probably paying a little bit more for the repairability. But here's,
Right.
and this is the main reason, besides the haptics, besides uh, and some of the other problems I might have, like not a great camera for around $500. I actually paid
Right.
$449 for it. It's on sale for $50 off.
Okay.
But this phone only gets 2 years of uh, OS updates as far as the version level updates.
Which is very
Now,
frustrating.
I especially when you're paying for number 1, $500 for the phone, and 2, this is a phone that's designed to be used repairable,
Right.
which means
It's
and I believe
supposed to be it's supposed to
it's
have more
supposed
longevity than the
correct.
average phone.
That's it's such a weird contrast. You have 2 years of OS level updates, and yet they have a deal with iFixit to offer parts for it for, like, 5 or 6 years.
That's insane.
It doesn't make any sense. It's
Like,
so incongruous. Like, your phone is yeah, you'll be able to replace the screen and the battery, but it will be insecure because by that point, it probably won't be getting security updates either.
right.
I don't understand it. This isn't a phone on a carrier. And I know
Right.
HMD is not relatively that huge of a company, but it's not like they have 8,000 different models and they're having to deal with, carrier agreements, at least here in the United States. And
Right.
anyway, and that's the
No,
reason
you're 100%. It's a very frustrating decision given their entire ethos around the phone.
it, when I told you about this offline, we'll just talk about this.
Yeah.
Because I said I just messaged you, you know, and said I'm returning the HMD, and you just went okay. And then I said, well, here's why, because it's not. I used to have this reputation with benefit of the doubt where I was like I would buy stuff and return. I'm not really that person anymore. This is the
Right.
first phone I have returned in a long time. Um, and it really takes a lot from me. Like I'm not the kind of person who sends food back unless it is just awful. I'm not that person. It really
Right.
has to be bad, and just like, a burnt, overdone steak when I want a medium rare, this just is so frustrating that I really do feel the need to send it back, and because of the combination and the thing is, I knew the stuff when I bought it, but it was just like the more it, like, gelled with me, the more I thought about it, I'm like, "It it's just kind of insulting to the person who buys it." I
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know how else to say it, so I cannot, as it stands, recommend this phone, despite the fact that, yeah, you can get it in, a couple of pretty colors. There's also, like, a sort of teal blue, besides the magenta or pink. I forget what they actually call it. And the fact that it does have optical image stabilization and a decent camera. The 7S Gen 2 is not it's not a speedy processor, but it's certainly fine for, a $350 to $400 phone. I do think it's a little bit overpriced at $500 even with the repairability, so it's going
Yeah.
back, and honestly, that's about all I have to say about it.
So neon pink and blue topaz are the
Blue
official
topaz.
names of the
Okay.
colors. FYI. But no, yeah, I totally get that. I mean, I have never been one to really get, give all that much thought to a haptic motor, but you're right. It's one of those things where it's like when it's off, it's just ooh, it's very off-putting, and like I don't know, I would probably just go ahead and turn off the
Turn it off,
haptic
but that's the
motor.
thing, like
But
like, I HMD has such a heritage, right, with Nokia in terms of being, like, innovative, offering
right,
'cause Nokia's haptics were always really good, and so that stuff when it's not and I know that this is not the same company.
right,
Technically, this was like a startup that licensed Nokia's name, but they're bringing
mhm,
that design language back, and so there's just certain things that I expect. I really love the fact that they're doing repairability in the partnership with iFixit, but the sum of the parts are definitely,
yeah,
less or what is it? So the sum of the parts is less than the whole or vice versa. It's just there's a lot of great things, but it just feels a little half-baked, and the software
yeah,
support just seals it for me as a phone that I
yeah.
can't recommend, and it's
Well,
so
no, I
disappointing.
totally get that. I totally get that. But the software support is just
E
it's ridiculous.
especially in a world where even Motorola is at least, you know, offering, well, not enough time has passed for all these software update promises from companies like Google,
To be
companies like
verified.
right, like
Yeah.
Samsung, just to better match what Apple brings to the table. But
Right.
this just feels in today's world where even, Samsung similarly priced phones that like the A35, the A55, or depending
Hmm.
on what country you're in, are still getting, 4 to 5 years, or 4 to 5, guaranteed OS
Yeah.
level updates. This is
Yeah.
just
It's
bad,
ridiculous.
and in a time when HMD, outside of their feature phones that they still sell quite a few of, especially in third world countries,
Yeah.
smaller markets, that kind of thing. This just feels like they went to all the trouble to make this phone repairable, and then saddled it with 2 years of updates. I just don't get it. I know I keep harping on it, but it just overrides everything else, and if I
Yeah.
could punt this phone, I would on camera, but because it has to go back, I will not.
Right. Although, if they end up rejecting your return and send it back, maybe we can, I don't know, take
No,
a
it'll
hammer
probably
through it or
it'll
something.
probably it'll probably go, it'll probably go
The
to, by the child
Swappa.
or something. Yeah.
Oh, there
Or
you
be a
go.
ba or be
But
a backup phone.
so, all right.
So,
Well, cool. I
that's
mean,
it.
yeah, no, it was a worthy experiment, and I kind of like where HMD's heart is, but at the
Me
same
too.
time, you gotta follow through on the total execution. And it
Mhm.
sounds like HMD missed that boat, unfortunately. So
So, and that's where we're at, yeah.
that's where we're at. What can we do, right? Anyway, so long, Slappy. That's the wrong layout. That's the right layout. Here we go. Yeah, so we can go ahead and wrap things up. It's a little too expensive. It's a little too unsupported, and other than that, you can fix your own screen, which is nice.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, you're right, and I like how HMD focused on battery and screen because those are the two components that are going to give out the soonest.
And this
So,
is not the only phone that they offer that's, user repairable.
okay.
I believe it's the AMD HMD Fusion, that is, a lower tier of phone, but
Right.
actually, this is the one that has, like, accessories that are almost like the friends
Oh,
that
the
like
Moto,
Moto Mods or
mods, that's the
right,
word,
Moto
yeah.
Mods or,
Huh.
the LG G5's friends that they offered where it has suits that I l that I think they call them suits, something like that from HMD where right now there's a few cases,
They have a ring light, it looks like, and they
but a
have
lot at
a
least in the US, those are not on sale or offered, but I believe they've also given you, like the specs to the phone or diagrams so that you can 3D print your own stuff as well, which is kinda cool.
outfits is what they call them,
Okay, outfits,
outfits.
that's right, I knew it was something to do with apparel. I
You
was
can add
close.
wireless charging, and you can, I don't know. I'm just kinda scrolling
I
through
think
here, but
it's like a ring light that can also be a kickstand, something like that, so yeah, I
yeah,
mean, if you're
yeah.
really into the vibes and you don't wanna spend $500, I mean, I think the Fusion's more like 300, so
Get a ring light for your crappy smartphone camera.
right,
But
exactly. I don't know,
anyway,
like, they're
yeah,
doing some cool
no,
stuff, but it's just again, it's just
they just
it's smacked down in terms of my being able to recommend it by
yeah,
their software support, which is where I was with
totally agree.
Motorola for a long time, so
Yeah, totally agree. Okay, well, I think that's going to do it for this particular review. Cliff, I wish you the best of luck on your return. So make sure you update us with the status of that once you find out. But otherwise, yeah, I think that's going to do it for here. So we're going to go ahead and our outro on, and we'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Oh, hi there. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, then you obviously liked what you saw. So why not take it a few small steps further? How about you drop a thumbs up on this video and maybe hit that subscribe button?
And while you're there, move that pointer over a few pixels and click the bell. All of that will ensure that we get noticed on the YouTubes, and we can make more of these videos just for you.
And if you want to go even a little bit further, you can head over to patreon.com/benefitofthedoud and sign up for as little as just $2 per month. And for that, you'll get early access to our videos and some bonus content that we don't show on the main channel.
Plus, we're cooking up new perks and benefits all the time. So go to patreon.com/benefitofthedoud and sign up today.
That's patreon.com/benefitofthedoud. And as always, we thank you for watching and for giving us the benefit of the Doud.